Harmony and melody are sort of the core mechanics that generate music. They are the generators of music. Music is made up of melody and harmony. The difference between these two things can be lost on guitar players, largely due to the way we learn the instrument. But teasing apart the difference and really primarily focusing on the melody of a song can be a great boost for your journey moving from a guitar player to a musician who plays guitar. Welcome back to the channel. My name's Chris. Today you will learn how to learn the melody. Now, learning the melody is not easy if you're just starting out. This is a skill that you have to build. And if you have a really good ear, it's going to be much easier. And if you don't, like I didn't, you'll experience some difficulty. This will be a little bit of a tough learning curve. Here's what we're going to do today. I'm going to explain the difference between harmony and melody, sort of dispel what they are and how they're different and when they are sort of the same. It's a little confusing, but I'll clear that up here in a second. Then I'm going to give you the why. Why do we care about this? Why is it important to learn the melody of a song, right? I'll sort of explain that and sort of dial that in for us. And then we'll zoom in and I'll give you two very, very clear examples of extremely popular songs, how to sort of tease out the melody and see how it relates to the harmony. Okay, so first things first, what's the difference between harmony and melody? The easiest way to see this and think about this is that harmony are notes occurring at the same time. Two or more notes occurring simultaneously. That's a harmonic structure. Those notes have a relationship to each other because they're being played at the same time. Conversely, melody are notes being played consecutively, usually by a single instrument, right? A melodic phrase, notes that are moving consecutively to and from each other. So I'll give you a great example. Here's a simple melody. I'm just playing down an A major scale here. That's a melody. It's all out by itself. It's in consecutive notes, right? Here's another melody. Another separate melody, right? One instrument playing a melodic line. Here are those two melodies being played at the same time. That's a harmony, right? There are two melodies and they just happen to line up perfectly with each other and they create a relationship, right? A harmonic relationship. So that's melody and harmony working at the same time. So there it is. Harmony vertical, notes being played at the same time. Melody, consecutive notes. Sometimes they intertwine, like I just demonstrated. Okay, so why is it important that we learn the melody to a song? As guitar players, we largely learn the instrument in organic information exchange. Just, learning some chords, we skip over the melody. The melody is sung by the singer. Maybe you're singing as you're playing the chords, but it's not something you transfer to the guitar. When you transfer the melody to the guitar and you look at it and you allow yourself some analytical space to understand how the melody relates to the chords and the harmony that's being played, you then take a giant step towards understanding the fundamental workings of how music works. So that's why it's important. It just connects you to the function, the core function of how the music is generated and why it sounds the way it does. Let's zoom in and I'm going to give you two very, very cool examples. Okay, learning the melody of a song. Possibly one of the most important things you can do as a guitarist. I think getting triadic knowledge on the guitar, understanding how triads map to the guitar is probably number one. Number two is really understanding how melody works, and the best way to do that is learning the melodies of the songs that you learn or the songs that you love. And if you think I'm making this up, check out Michael Palmisano's channel. This is one of his primary lessons. This is one of the things that he stresses the most. I'll link his website in the description below. Learning the melody, super important. I'm going to show you two melodies that I already know, that I already learned. But what's going to be missing here is the learning process. And now there's really nothing to be done about this except do it by ear. If you've got tabs, that's great. If you don't have tabs, you're going to have to strike out on your own and do this yourself. When I started doing this, I did not have a very good developed ear, and it was hard for me. So just know there's a steep learning curve here. This is going to be hard, but it's worth the effort. Once you do this 2 or 3 times with 2 or 3 songs, mix it up, do different styles. As you'll see, I'm going to show you 2 different style examples here. Mix it up. Commit to it. Get all the way through this. If you do this 2 or 3 times, your ear will develop. Your hands and your brain will understand how music works together, this harmony and melody thing working together. Okay, let me stop blathering and show you what I'm talking about. The first song we're going to learn is a very simple song, and I'm putting it in the key of A. You Are My Sunshine. A very, very recognizable melody, and it's in the key of A. Let me play the melody first, then I'll play the... should I play the chords first? Let me play the chords first. The chords for this song are A, D, and E. Just those 3 chords. 1, 4, and 5 in the key of A. Here's the melody. Really simple, beautiful melody. It all comes from the key of A. The whole melody and all the chords are generated from the key of A. 1, 4, 5 in the key of A, and it's generated from the A major scale. So now let me show you how the chords fit into that melody. I'm going to use this bar chord here for our A. I'm going to use that bar chord there, and then I'm going to use this chord for the E. And this is sort of a C-shaped looking thing. Okay, so here it is. See how the notes are inside the chord? There's the melody. Note the melody notes are inside the chord. That's the melody note right there. We'll do that one part again. They're all right inside there. In fact, most of the melody notes are the notes from the chords themselves. These triads, the root, the third, and the fifth. If you're not familiar with that, that's what these chords are. Root, third, fifth, root, 3, 5, root, 3, 5, right? Starting from A, starting from D, and starting from E in that key. Now, that's a little bit of a distraction, but what I want to point out is that the majority of the melody notes are already inside the chord. So these notes are all inside the chord. This is the only scale tone in that part of the melody. Right? All contained inside. There's a great example of harmony and melody serving each other. That melody is outlining the chords, right? It's using the chord tones, and it's basically inside the chord perfectly throughout the whole song. The next one is going to be a little bit different. This is Sunshine of Your Love by Cream, and this is largely a riff-based classic rock tune, sort of in the tonal center of D. That's the primary riff. That riff continues when we go to G. That's basically the entire mechanism for the verse. When we go to the chorus, the band plays A, sort of an A power chord, and then C and G. 3 times through, and then just A. And then it goes back to the riff. Now that's the entire basis for the song. Those are the only parts in the song that are basically your harmonic bed. These are mostly power chords. This is a power chord, and it's debatable whether or not they're playing full major chords here. You can get away with power chords here, I think, too. But I like to play them as open chords because they're bigger and richer. But anyway, that's the core basis of the song. Now, the verse is this riff part, right? Jack Bruce, the bass player, this is the melody he sings. It sounds familiar. It's basically shadowing this riff. I'm with you, my love. So he sings that a couple times. Then we go to the G, and the melody just switches to the same thing, but now sort of focusing on G. Now let's just analyze this for a second before we move on to the next part. There's our main part in D. We're sort of in the tonal center of D. All of the notes of both of these melody parts are generated from the D minor pentatonic scale. Right, there's our D minor pentatonic. Look at the first one. It's all D minor pentatonic. When we go to the G, we're still in the D minor pentatonic scale. All D minor pentatonic. Right? Very easy to understand, but here's a pentatonic melody that's tied to the riff, right? It's very closely tied to the rhythmic riff of the song. The next part of the tune goes to this A and C and G, A, C and G, right? This part of the song. Listen to the melody now. Jack Bruce goes like this. Now look at this melody. We're switched to A here, right? We were in D, we're in A now. And he's using notes from the A minor pentatonic. I've been waiting so long. Right? Look at the A minor pentatonic scale. It's right in the center of that scale. I've been waiting so long. When he sings the next line, to be where I'm going, Clapton sings the same lyric, but he sings this melody. Now if you look at the A minor pentatonic scale, Clapton's singing these notes. These notes are from the A major pentatonic scale. So Jack Bruce is singing minor pentatonic. Clapton is singing major pentatonic. Now how are these things going to work together, right? These melodies are played at the same time, they're sung at the same time, and they sound like this. As harmonies, they sound fantastic. As melodies, they sort of sound unrelated, right? But together, they sound really, really good. The last melody that's played in the song, Jack Bruce sings this, and Clapton sings this. You know what's going to happen here, right? Those two melodies played together form a harmony. Those notes are from the A Mixolydian scale. A Mixolydian is just a major scale, A major scale with a flat 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, flat 7. Another great example, but totally different from that first song. This one's really pentatonic based, moves from D minor pentatonic to A minor pentatonic, and adds a major pentatonic, and then that final melody together with that other melody make this great harmony based on A Mixolydian. That's the kind of focus and analytics, or maybe archaeology, that you want to do when you start learning melodies. And again, remember, this is going to be a bit of a steep learning curve. If you haven't done this before, it's going to be a little bit hard. There's going to be some effort in there, but trust me, it is totally worth it. Okay, the big takeaway here, learn the melody. That's it. Any song you already know, maybe you sing and play at the same time, maybe you don't, maybe you know a really great song that you love, learn the melody. Maybe it's a vocal melody. It's going to take you a little bit of time. And if you're not really good at it yet, realize that there's a little bit of a learning curve here. Like when I first started doing this, and I didn't really have a very developed ear, so it took me a little while. The first couple of tries were hard to try to find the notes and slow things down and figure out where those notes were. That was difficult, but it gets easier and easier the more you do it, and the benefits are tremendous. It can't be overstated, really. I've tabbed these two examples out. You Are My Sunshine and Sunshine of Your Love. So those are already there for you. If you want to take a stab and sort of dive in, this might be a great sort of springboard. But if you also just want to jump in there by yourself, go back and listen to those examples, or go to a song that you already know and learn the melody for it. Take your time and really, it may be an effort, but take your time and learn the melody, and then look how it relates to the chords that you already know how to play. So if you would like the tabs, those are on Patreon. Head on over there if you'd like to grab those, or if you'd like to support the channel. And if you do, I thank you in advance. Okay, learning the melody, super important thing to do. Go do it. Grab your favorite song and do it. Again, that learning curve might be a little steep, but the benefit is dramatic. I hope you enjoy this. I hope it helps, and I'll see you next time.